Joel, we're back and we're on the topic of blurred lines. This is a series that we started. Actually, we're 2 episodes in now on this one.
This will be the 2nd episode.
As we step into this, there are services that look an awful lot like janitorial and commercial cleaning, but they're not. So we have a guest with us today.
We do. Today I've brought Valerie Madursky from Refined Restoration, who is also in the facilities area, but in a completely different area. Welcome, Valerie.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
You're very welcome. Why don't you tell the group what is it that you do?
So we offer water damage, mold remediation, lead dust sampling, carpet cleaning. We also offer asbestos inspections.
So because it's all facilities things, Ray, you can see, particularly when you get into the carpet cleaning piece, that there is overlap, and hence why a client may think that, oh, because she does carpet cleaning and I do carpet cleaning, that maybe...
You're already here. Why didn't you just do the job?
Exactly.
Okay.
So particularly when it comes to like knocking a sprinkler head off in a building and having a flood, that's going to be beyond what I can do. Or a toilet that backs up with potable water.
Mm-hmm.
That would be a call to Valerie and her team.
Okay. But your customer doesn't know where that line is, and perhaps your frontline cleaners there on site. No,
correct.
This has just happened. We had a toilet break earlier today. In fact, it might even be the frontline cleaner who found it that night.
That could be very well a possibility.
So how do these things transfer, and how does it go from commercial janitorial to disaster cleanup?
Well, I can definitely know what I'm responsible for. And if a client called me, I would say that's beyond my scope of work. It's beyond what I can do. I would make a referral to Valerie, which I do often. I'll call her up with the customer's name, phone number, location, and in a nutshell, what's the issue, and see if they're able to do that, which they've never backed down from any job that I've ever referred their way.
So, Valerie, I will say that I am automatically impressed by someone who picks up where Joel says, this is too much for me. So, in that regard, Joel's pitched you a referral. Please call my client so-and-so. This is the situation they're dealing with. What happens next for you?
As soon as we receive a referral, we go ahead and we immediately contact the customer. Immediate response is very important because our job is to prevent further damage. So once there is either a toilet breaking or a sewage backup, something that Joel is not able to clean up, our job is to respond quickly, arrive at the property. We inspect the site. We check for the source of loss, which is the toilet, and we have to ensure that the proper contractor has corrected the source. Once the site inspection is completed, we advise the client what is affected, how much is affected, and what our cleanup plan is. We do communicate once that is completed to the facility director and how we're going to proceed further. And our job is to prevent further damage to their property and also save them money.
One of the things I know that you and I have talked about often is how a lot of property managers and facility managers think they know how to clean. They think they know how to do water loss cleanup and things like that. And just recently overheard a client telling a tenant that, oh, just talk to the cleaning company about them doing a quick, extraction of your carpet. Having went back to that space a couple weeks later, I know that I smelled mildew. And I knew right then that the information that was being told to that tenant was wrong, because I think I even called you up that day and said, hey, you might want to make a call to this organization.
And you know what, Joel, we did talk that day, and I do remember talking to you. So although the client thinks that they're saving themselves money by having their staff on site clean up the water, what they don't realize is that there are protocols through the IICRC that we follow. So during that process, we would come in, do our drying plan. With that carpet, we would have to remove the pad because within 24 to 48 hours, microbial growth can potentially start, and depending on the atmospheric conditions. There's certain tools and equipment that we carry, moisture meters, commercial dehumidifiers, air movers, that will be able to utilize during the drying process that will prevent microbial growth. Now, in a commercial building, it is code to have insulation on interior and exterior walls. So actually responding quickly to the water damage in a commercial building for one of your clients is extremely important. And by contacting us quickly, they could potentially save themselves money because we are preventing further damage.
And that's what I love about working with you, because the extent of knowledge that you have about what can happen if a water loss isn't taken care of right from the start, how much more damage that can do. So maybe something might be a few $1,000s to do it the right way, but it's going to prevent the tens of thousands of dollars if it's not done the right way. And it could have been rectified right from the start. In your industry, I know time is of the essence. When you have flooding and it gets up to the drywall, I know that sometimes you got to cut out drywall, you got to dry out the insides of the walls. That's nothing that a cleaning contractor can do. We don't carry that kind of equipment. You do. And that is why it's so important. But our clients typically look at us as being the expert when we're cleaning there every day, and they think we know everything that there is about cleaning. And what I'm trying to get across to the people that are listening on the podcast is that we have to have key relationships with other individuals like yourself in the cities that we work in to ensure that our clients are taken care of, and developing that tight bond that we have with your company. Because I know that when I turn it over to Refined Restoration, I don't have to worry anymore because I know it's going to be done the right way. And the extent that you and your firm delve into the issues, I know you're going to take care of the client. And that's key to me.
This is a sensitive topic, and cleaning company owners need to know where their responsibilities end.
Yes, they do. And that's why it's a blurry line.
Valerie, thanks for being with us today.
Thank you for having me.